Hello and welcome back to Santa's Workshop. Today we are going to have to hit an alternate video. I was working on one that working on getting the fuel tank into the Caballero, and I ordered two fittings at the first of last week. Supposed to have been here the middle of last week. They'll be here at the middle of this week. So I'm going to have to come up with a video for y'all for this week. So what I'm going to do is I want to get out the wrench and we're going to start stripping down this frame. Now, back end is going to be fairly easy. As you can see, I've got the penetrating oil everywhere I can. I'm going to go ahead and drop the bolts off of the cross member, get me a jack under it. I've got one trailing arm there that's bent up, and I'll guarantee you that was from the forklift at the auction that did that. So I'm probably going to try and find me another trailing arm. Question is, does that other El Camino out there have a good one on it? We'll have to find out. All right, but I want to get this rear end zapped out. I'm just going to go ahead and cut the brake line because I got new brake lines for it. Metal lines all look good. They're not rusted. They're still silver. So I'm going to try to clean those, scuff them down, throw a little bit of silver paint on them. That way they're protected. Fuel lines are all coming out. I'm going with all AN lines going to the front. And we're going to just see how far we can get on this with this video. All right, let's get to work. Alright, I got the rear axle out. Woohoo! Still got to get the trailing arms off. Boy, that one is bent all to pieces. Look at that. Doggone it. Might try to straighten that out. I may just see if I can find me another one. But think they're universal. One side fits the other. We'll see what we can do with it. Got the brake lines off. Now I want you to look at these brake lines. Those things look clean, almost new. I've got a little bit of corrosion on this one, but I mean, it's all surfaced. I want to try cleaning that up and just reusing the brake lines. Throw a little bit of paint on them. Get my wire brush, hit the ends. Get that rust off of there. Tape it off, hit it with some paint. But yeah, there ain't nothing wrong with those. Wash them out with some Berryman's. Get those up nice. Got the vent line off of this side with the brake line. Got one bolt hung up on the proportioning valve, which I need to get another one of those on my list, so I'll remember to get it. These lines all look good. That's the worst looking one, and I bet you that'll clean right up. But now, to get onto this. Those springs have still got some tension on them, and I'm thinking I'm going to pull out the plasma cutter and just cut through the coil, get that tension off of them so I can pull them out. And no, I'm not going to use those. I've got coilovers. I'm going to get my A-frames all off, get them cleaned up, get the old joints out because I got new ones all to go in it. Everything new up here. I've got a seal kit for the power steering box, which there is no slack in that thing whatsoever. And when I was driving this thing, I mean, you could just turn it with one finger, just as easy as could be. All right, well, we're going to get back on it. See if we can make the front end look like the back end. Okay, I've gotten quite a bit tore down. I tried to cut the springs with my plasma cutter, but they were just a little bit too thick. I got the one on this side it's relaxed the spring. But I still have them both caged with the shock. So I want to go ahead and take off the rotors and everything behind it here and see if I can't. See, I probably want to go ahead and do the sway bar as well, and see if I can knock out that bottom ball joint, and just let the shock take the brunt of it, and then I'll just back it off from the top side and let them fall out. At least that's the plan. But when I got down to taking the hub off, I come across something, and I wanted to show y'all this. As you can see, that hub is still shiny right there. I don't know if you can see that, but I mean, look at that. That is shiny. And when I pop these caps off, now, you've got to remember, this is 45 years old. And I have never, in my lifetime, even in newer cars, taken the cap off and saw this. Look how clean that thing is on the inside. I mean, it looks brand new. But I want to put all this into my parts bucket here. And once I get them off, there is absolutely no lip on this at all. So I want to take this into O'Reilly's and let them just knock the surface off. Going to clean this off, shoot it with just a little paint. I might do that before I take it down, have them do that. That way it'll coat all this. And get them looking nice and pretty and ready to put back on. Figured I'd go ahead and sit here and talk with you while I was doing this. That's just being a booger. There we go. One cotter pin. Now, if this was done right, I should be able to take this off by hand. Oh, that is awful tight. Let's see here. There it goes. Just had to break it loose. And it's going to be tied all the way off. It's not really tight, it's just kind of hanging on the castle nut. There we go. One nut. Look at that thing. That is beautiful. Look at those bearings. There is no heat on those whatsoever. There's the inside one. And that shaft looks phenomenal. see here. Yep. I'll probably just end up using those bearings. There ain't nothing wrong with that whatsoever. You can see where it's been riding, but it has not heated, has not spun, it don't look like. But I'll clean those bearings up and we'll get a good close look at them before we decide whether or not yay or nay we're going to use them. Okay, she is stripped down, and I want to tell you, every time I take springs off, I'm as bad as a cat in a room full of rockers when those things are hanging on there. Whew, I just do not like that. But I guess that's self-preservation coming through. This thing just keeps surprising me. I want you to look at this. Still got the blue paint on them. I mean, both sides. All the A-frame bolts, same way. I had one A-frame bolt. I had to get the big hammer out and get it out. But it come on loose, didn't break. Spindles look wonderful. I'm going to clean them up. I want to grind down some of the casting areas on those because my hand slipped a while ago. I guess it was this one. Well, okay, I know I did it. Where'd it go? Ah, there it is. Right there. Just barely tapped it. Shed the blood. But, as my daddy always said, it's not a good job unless there's bloodshed. But, we got this thing stripped down. I'm going to spend a day in here just cleaning, getting the floor cleaned up. I mean, I've made a mess. Separating out all my bolts and everything, getting everything back to where I know where everything is. And I'm not going to film that unless y'all want me to. I mean, it would be nothing but boring watching me pick stuff up and sort things out. But if y'all want to see it, I'll do it. But next video, next week, I'm going to get on this tank. I finally got all the parts in. I want to get that switched over, and I'm going to try and go ahead and get it mounted back up in the body here, because that'll get that out of the way, I'm thinking that fuel pump has to be below the tank. And honestly, there's really no place below the tank to mount that thing. So what I'm thinking about doing is, let me get this back down to so far away. I'm thinking about doing is getting some riv nuts, attaching to right here, and making me a holder that'll hold it right here at the bottom of the tank. Kind of right in front of it, but at the bottom. So, in other words, it's going to be right about here like this. Maybe a little bit further down. But we'll worry about that once we get that thing in there. Oh, and I want you to look at this. This is the fuel gauge sending unit wire that plugs in on top of the tank. This is the one that come out of the car. I got me a little bit of lacquer thinner, cleaned it up. Then I coated it with a little bit of the vinyl protector. And then I used the wire loom that Jason S. got me. That's a single wire loom that is very, very tight. And that's the way I'm going to try to do every wire in this car. So, there's restorations, which you go by the book. Then there's builds, which you do things custom. I don't know what we're going to call this, because it's going to have a whole lot of stuff. But anyways, thank y'all so much for joining me on this. Y'all are awesome. Thank you for all the kind comments and encouragement and everything. When you get my age and waking up is the hardest thing you do in the morning, the encouragements help. But thank y'all so much. If you haven't hit that like and subscribe, please do. Please share it to your friends who you think might like it. But we will see you next time on Santa's Workshop.